Chapter 25, 2020 to 2023, Homeschooling Thaddeus in December 2021. Summer 2020. After Tin Man, Scarecrow, Siggy, and their dog picked up Thorbjoern, our household became peaceful. It was like night and day. I was able to redirect my energies and attention to Thaddeus, and he and I started bonding on another level. With the school shutdowns and him home, I got to see the quality of education he was receiving, and I was not impressed. All work was being completed on the school Chromebook, and thus Thaddeus's penmanship was atrocious. After some deep contemplation, I approached Thaddeus with the idea of homeschooling him. He was not initially on board because he was worried about his friend AJ, who had a tendency to get picked on at school. Thaddeus felt he needed to be there to stick up for him, having a protective energy for his friend. I am forever grateful to AJ's mom who allowed AJ to come over during 2020 when many parents were hesitant to allow their child to leave the house because of the fear propaganda. I'm fully convinced AJ and Thaddeus' relationship kept Thaddeus in a positive frame of mind. In researching homeschooling and speaking with local homeschooling parents, I learned that one benefit in living in New Jersey was the regulations concerning homeschooling, which was nada. In contrast, Pennsylvania, our former state, was one of the most severely regulated states concerning homeschooling. Here in Jersey, I was able to easily unenroll Thaddeus from public school and take over his education, no questions asked. I found an online program called Time for Learning, which was enjoyable. So I purchased a subscription specifically for math and language arts and supplemented his education with a reading comprehension book so he would be required to write as well as use a computer. That summer in August, Scarecrow, Timmy, and Siggy and Thorbjoern stopped by on their way north to visit Scarecrow's family. Thus, we were able to see Thor, and he picked up his violin, which led to virtual music lessons between him and I. Thorbjoern was adjusting to his new school in Richmond, with Scarecrow overseeing his academics. Schools were open and then closed, so they had to juggle between in school and virtual participation. Thorbjoern had an IEP, an individualized education plan in New Jersey that transferred to Virginia. Due to the IEP, we had a few virtual meetings between the parents, teachers, and a social worker who monitored Thorbjoern's IEP. During these meetings, I sat smiling and nodding as the teachers told me what a joy Thorbjoern was in school and how he was completing all his homework virtually. I was glad, but also fully aware that Scarecrow was micromanaging him. She had a strong desire to be a better parent than I had been because, in their mind, in Tin Man and Scarecrow's mind, any complications with Thor while he lived with us was my fault. Whatever. If Scarecrow wanted to prove that she was a better mom than I had been, great. It was a win for us because at the end of the day, all that mattered was that Thorbjoern became a thriving student and a successful adult. I also knew that they were likely in a honeymoon phase, meaning Thorbjoern, I suspected, thought that moving to Virginia meant no more responsibility, no more rules, no more chores, or parental expectations. For the last handful of years, the only time he and Thaddeus went to Virginia was during summer and Christmas break. Thus, their time was all full of games and fun. Tin Man got to be the Disneyland parent, whereas I had to be the disciplinarian and stable parent that taught responsibility. Now that Thor was living there full time, he was likely figuring out that he couldn't just attend school and play video games rest of the day. Fall 2020. Thorbjorn and I started doing weekly music lessons virtually on the violin. They didn't own a piano, so I ended up buying him a rollout piano that Christmas. Thorbjorn had natural talent on the violin, and he had an opportunity to join his school orchestra. The virtual lessons with him were fun because we could connect, but I was no longer the disciplinarian overseeing his schoolwork. I could just be the fun parent. In a small way, him moving to Virginia felt like he had come back to me. After Christmas, our weekly lessons turned into twice a week, one for piano and one for violin. That Thanksgiving, Thorbjoern came home, a foot taller. He'd had his major growth spurt during the 6 months he had been away. The height difference between Thorbjoern and Thadeaus was quite spectacular. Thanksgiving was my favorite holiday, so I wanted Thorbjoern home then, and then Thaddeus would go to Virginia over Christmas break. And then Thor would return spring break. And over the summer, it was an ideal schedule. During this time, I was also writing my second book, Choosing the Harder Right, West Point's 1976 cheating scandal, which was published the following year in July 2021. We hosted the book launch in Washington, D.C. at the Army-Navy Club during the time Tin Man and Scarecrow had visitation with Thadeaus. I requested that they come so the boys could be there for me as well as experience my book launch. They did, and we even got a nice group photo. December 2021. It had been a year and a half since Thorbjoern moved out. I met Scarecrow at McDonald's south of Washington, D.C. to hand over Thadeaus during Christmas break. Siggy was with her. We went inside to go to the bathroom and give the children an opportunity to get a snack. We sat down at a table. I always thought it was a good idea for Thadeaus and Siggy to see the adults get along. How's school, Siggy?
School is so easy.
She said. Well, that's because you're a smarty pants, I teased. Thor didn't want to come in the car today? I directed my question at Scarecrow.
No, I kept him home.
She replied. Everything okay? I asked, observing her body language. She shook her head no.
No, I am completely baffled by Thorbjorn's behavior.
Oh, really? I asked.
Yes,
She sighed.
the last couple of weeks have been so unnecessary. Thor lies all the time, and I continue to catch him in more lies.
I said nothing, but could feel her frustration, so I just let her talk. It seemed like she needed to vent.
I've been in touch with Thor's teachers all semester, and they bought each of them Target gift cards. I want to show them my appreciation for communicating with me. I gave the collection of Christmas cards to Thor and asked him to hand them out to his teachers. And he said he did. And then I found them all in his violin case.
She said, dumbfounded and looking heartbroken. So now she was telling me the truth instead of painting this pristine picture that all was perfect. I wondered how long the honeymoon phase had lasted. A year, maybe? I didn't ask.
I don't understand. Why would you just hold on to them like that? It's not like he's saving the gift cards for himself. All the envelopes were still sealed.
It's because he's lazy, Mom.
Siggy said. Siggy, why do you think Thorbjorn lies? I asked. Siggy was 8, almost 9. Children could be very observant.
He lies because he thinks he will always be in trouble regardless, and thinks that if he makes up a story, he won't get in trouble so much.
She answered. That's interesting, I said.
I just don't understand.
Scarecrow repeated. I felt her pain. I knew it well. She was genuine. She had been giving to Thor, guiding him, parenting him, and she felt confused, even betrayed. How can you continue to give to a child that lies to you? Where do you draw the line? And how do you trust that child again? You do realize that none of this is new, don't you? I stated. But she didn't like that answer. That meant she would have to change her thinking, that blaming me for everything wasn't going to work anymore. She was going to have to recognize that Thorbjorn's behavior was his own. I'd said for years that Thorbjoern's greatest challenge was his own personality. The exchange that usually took a few minutes turned into 3 hours. I gave Scarecrow the chance to talk and feel heard. She knew without a doubt I was one of the few people in her life that understood completely. And I knew, despite how hard she was trying to parent Thor, that she wasn't getting any recognition or appreciation from Tin Man. Essentially, he'd just handed over our child to Scarecrow to raise. After that meeting, I vowed internally to forgive Scarecrow for everything negative she'd ever done to me, including the legal in 2019, concluding that she had limited information at the time. She had believed Thorbjoern that summer in 2019, complaining about us, whether she fully believed Jake and I had abused the boys or not. She had supported Tin Man in trying to get full custody of the children. I was willing to let it go, though, and do my best to support her. She was, in fact, raising my son Thor, and she was really trying her best. As much as I never desired Thor to leave our home and move in with Tin Man, I was grateful he was there and that he was being looked at by her. That following year, 2022, Scarecrow and I kept in touch. She'd often text me with a frustrating story about Thorbjoern that inevitably would make me laugh. She told me Thorbjoern started throwing his dirty clothes away because in his bedroom the trash can was closer than the laundry basket. If Thor forgot to sign in for a virtual music lesson with me, I would text her and she would help get him on. I really enjoyed the virtual lessons with Thor. Oftentimes, we were giggling, and Thadeaus would come in the music room to say hi to Thor. It kept us all connected. Fast forward Friday, August 18th, 2023. I was sitting in the kitchen talking to my husband. After everything that has happened, 2010 to 2012 and in 2019, why would Scarecrow allow Timmy to start another legal battle when she knows for a fact they're going to lose? I asked Jake.
It's his ego destiny. Tin Man is the domestic relations attorney.
Jake responded. He has yet to learn that love wins. All my motivation came from love and the desire to protect my children. His motivation, on the other hand, is like vindictiveness,
True that.
Jake said. I was astounded that Scarecrow was so willing to give up our friendship and backstab me again. I suspected Tin Man started to feel uncomfortable with how close Scarecrow and I had become. So he had to create drama in order to make me the enemy again. This is potentially going to be one of the greatest learning lessons for Thadeaus, I said to Jake. Maybe this is why it's all happening, to show Thadeaus the truth about his father. I have faith that Thadeaus will figure it out. I'll stay calm and patient. I will show him the legal documents and pose questions, and hopefully he'll start putting the pieces together.
I'll talk to him too. I'm going to have him look up testosterone shot so he'll see it won't make him taller.
Yes, that's a great idea. Thank you for doing that. It's about empowering Thadeaus, not taking away his power, and showing him the truth so he understands. Man, his energies were awful when he came back from Virginia. They so manipulated him. I got to help him get his power back,
Yeah, he's in dick mode right now.
Jake said. I know. It's awful, but we got to be there for him, I said. Hopefully he'll come back to us sooner rather than later. I sighed. Jake leaned over and gave me a kiss.
You sure you're going to be able to handle this legal shit without hiring an attorney?
Jake asked. I have to. I refuse to pay any more attorneys. I just paid off all the expenses of my book. It had been 1 year to write, 1 year to secure a publisher and go through the editing process, and 2 years to pay off. The contract with the publishing company, all the marketing, the author promo video, the book release party we hosted, purchasing the books themselves, and paying my graphic designer for all her design for the website, invitations, and Facebook posts. It all put me in debt over $13,000, which had taken me 2 years to pay off. Now that I was financially free of that debt, there was no way in hell I was putting myself back in debt by hiring an attorney. The next morning, Saturday, August 19th, 2023, I got up wicked early, 4 a.m., to respond to Tin Man's attorney before I had to get ready to leave for Pennsylvania. What I'd learned in reading the documents was Tin Man had gone before the New Jersey judge yesterday, the 18th, the day Thadeaus was on the train home. Likely it was a virtual hearing, or his attorney just represented him. I read the order denying emergent relief due to the fact the plaintiffs haven't submitted insufficient evidence of immediate and irreparable harm. I sighed. Sounds like he literally tried again what he had tried in August 2019, requesting an emergency hearing and had failed miserably. The to show cause was 48 pages long. I read through it last night. What a bunch of garbage. Saturdays were a big music teaching day, and I needed to get my head on straight. I reread the whole document, skimming it this time, and stuffed down the rage I felt rising from my stomach. I knew I couldn't talk to Jake about it. This would just make him angry at the injustice of it all. At this point, with my experience having been through the 3 years of legal insanity, 2010 to 2012 in Pennsylvania, and then the few months, the fall of 2019, I knew the gist of the legal system. Each state does handle domestic relations differently. In Pennsylvania, all three categories, child support, child custody, and divorce, were handled separately. I had no idea if New Jersey was the same, but I knew I could figure it out. Besides, I was a writer after all, and most legal matters, including drafting responses, was all about writing. I am the defendant. I already have what I wanted, which was sole custody of Thadeaus. I would, of course, modify the custody order to list Tin Man as having primary custody of Thorbjoern, since Thor has been living there since May 2020. One thing the fall of 2019 taught me was that Tin Man can accuse me of whatever he wants, but he has to be able to prove it. I'm sure the judge will see how Tin Man, an attorney himself, is trying to use the legal system to get what he wants, but he doesn't have a case. I really would have thought the embarrassment and shame he put himself through in 2019 would have prevented any further legal matters, but clearly I was wrong. Tin Man was building his case on two topics concerning Thadeaus: education and medical, both of which I had a ton of evidence on. I'm the one homeschooling him. I'm the one who started the Virtuoso School, a homeschooling program at the Virtuoso Music Studio so Thadeaus would have classmates. I'm the one who designed the curriculum. I'm the foundational teacher teaching math and language arts and brought on additional teachers for the electives. Concerning medical, I'm the one with the relationship with Dr. Hanley, Thadeaus' endocrinologist. I'm the one who manages his type 1 diabetes. I'm the one who picks up his medical supplies from Walgreens and orders the rest through Amazon. The test strips and syringes were cheaper for me to purchase through Amazon than get with insurance at Walgreens. Tin Man is going to have a hard time proving my incompetence as a parent. I know who I am, I know my values, and I have nothing to hide.
I'm going to teach you how to make a kale salad. Well, this is just a step. So you take it off of this thing.
Stem. Take the stem out.
Then
what do you do?
So and wherever you want it to go.
What, the stem?
Yeah.
Compost.
What it's compost for. We're making lasagna today.
It's a modified lasagna, something you can eat. Yeah, you gotta finish up. What are you making, Thaddeus? You forget already?
The magic ball.
Yeah, magic bars. Not low carb. Alright.
I hold you up too.
I think it's bigger like that.
Where's my hugs? Am I chopped liver?
Did your sister jump on you when she saw you?
There you go.
Way to jump into that.
Aw, I'm sure she jumped on you.
Glad you
Just
guys
like,
didn't
Two of those in the whole thing.
You can't help it, you're just like really cute. Don't give me that face. Show me how you can eat zucchini and onions, how you were telling me that they're your favorite vegetable.
Oh. Please?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did he stop the video? Did he stop the video, Mom?
Go. Why are you doing it so slow? Look delicious, doesn't it? Don't eat it all, save some for me.
Why did you start eating then?
I will.
No, you won't. You're just gonna give it out to me.
No, no way.
That's what moms do.
Not this mom.
Recording, don't eat it.
No.
Hey, Mama.
Yes.
Love you.
Love you.
You're the best. But not better than Thor.
Good.
Just kidding. Hi, my name is Thadeaus, and I am bring a torch. Jeanette Isabella.
Ready, go.
I'm not recording.
Hi. We're going to play the Inspector General. Okay, ready? Ready, go.
No.
No.
He's got to say, go.
We weren't fighting. No, we weren't. He
You
did
stop when I turn on the camera? What's up with
it. He
that?
did it. Hello, my name is Thor, and I'm gonna play a duet with my mama and clipboard. That's for me and you, so fine.
Con sonetta, page 1. 1 and 2.